Gotta figure out something to do this. There we go.
There we go. All right, so we're live. So we're both on here. We're live, and I guess that's it. Episode 1.
Episode 1. Here we're kicking it off.
That's right.
So if anyone's following along, first of all, thanks for joining us. You can see that this high quality production right here. I've got a camera phone falling over for my camera. Just wanted to thank everyone for joining in that is out there. If you're watching this later, not on the live stream, thanks again too.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a pretty good little bit of building the community on Instagram. I don't know if anybody is watching it, but it's AR live. That's awesome. And if anybody comes on here after the fact, hey, welcome to the page. Kind of slow starts. It's at the incipient level right now, but it'll definitely build up at some point, and that's okay too. But I'm glad to be here. Kind of a slow start, but it's a start nonetheless.
That's right. Hunter, you want to kind of jump right into kind of the channel, what we're about, and give everybody an overview.
Yeah, you sent me kind of the itinerary. You wanted to kind of start off with an introduction. We got one person watching, at least Caroline's watching us live over here on the couch. You want to do just kind of some intros first off. So for people that might be watching from elsewhere that don't know me, my name's Hunter. I'm originally from South Carolina. I live over in Central Georgia now. Day to day, I manage a golf course. I'm a firefighter on the side. Pretty outdoorsy. I consider myself. Grew up in the outdoors, running the woods and the hills in South Carolina. Hunting, fishing, just pretty much anything, everything to get outside. Grew up out in the country, doing all that stuff. So I'm trying to do this my whole life. Just kind of being active. Parents were blue collar. Kind of had what I consider to be a really good upbringing. Great parents, great family. A lot of really good friends, and I always kind of joke and tell people I'm from a really tiny town, but I always tell people too that I grew up back in like the 70s, because a lot of the things that I did back in the day, kids these days don't get to do. But yeah, I went to college in Myrtle Beach, and while I was there, I kind of learned a lot about myself and went off to Richmond, Virginia for a year. And after I got done up there, I kind of got a little homesick and got back to Georgia. I've been down here for about 7 years now, and ever since then, I've been on the fire department ever since I got back. I have gotten pretty big into the fitness thing, just trying to be a good version of myself and be prepared for whatever life throws at me. My wife, Caroline, if she's watching, we grew up right down the road from each other, about 10 minutes apart, and she's about the same way. Couldn't have picked a better person, because we like to do a lot of the same things. She goes hunting with me. We both go hiking a lot. Pretty much every year so far that we've been married, we've taken a vacation that has pretty much it's been more work than it has been play, because I think the last vacation we hiked almost 100 miles in a few days and camped the whole time, and just going adventuring and just trying to get the most out of life. And that's kind of how the page started out. So I've also got a dog, Aldo. He's underneath me trying to eat my legs right now, which is the reason I kind of keep looking down. But he's a blue heeler. We've had him for almost a year now. He's an absolute wild man. And I'm trying to figure out what Paul is at, because I don't see him on here. Says he's on here. I don't know where you're at. I don't know. Paul, you on there? I might FaceTime you in just a second. This is our first time, if anybody is watching. Kind of bear with us. It's gonna be rough, I'm sure. But we really hope to get this thing going in the future. You kind of get it streamlined where it makes it worth watching. I'm FaceTiming Paul right now. So hey, I don't know where you're at there. I'm just broadcasting live to everybody.
Send me an invite through Hangouts again. I'm still working through that.
All right.
Keep going. Don't start the party because of me.
No, we're just gonna keep on. We're just gonna keep hammering away here. Little camera hands.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't like that.
Hang on.
Let's see. It's a podcast about working through adversities. We problems present themselves and we get through it, right? And
that's right.
It's really great. Yeah, Paul just having children here right now. Explanations of how we are not IT people. Myself, I'm got to talk about how. Of course, and probably a little fire on the side, and it might be for the better because neither of those use a computer very much. See, you got an invite from me yet?
Yeah, okay. Can you see me?
No, I cannot.
What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go in straight off my phone because I don't know if it's because I got both of them open at
the same time.
At the same time or whatever. I'm just gonna close everything off. So just send me the invite again to Hangouts and we'll shut this thing down.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So if anybody is watching, like I said, the technical difficulties. Paul's gonna try to get on here in just a second on his phone. And shade the dog. This is Aldo, the blue healer. He's basically a wood chipper with 4 legs, and he apparently really likes gumbo because that's what we have for dinner. And my bowl was sitting up here on the table.
Hey, am I back now?
Yep. We just got done watching Aldo eat some gumbo out of the bowl over here. It's a good time.
Back to the land of the living now. So
I ran out of stuff to talk about, so showed the dog. He ate some gumbo. It's a good time.
Okay, all right. So
anyways, I already did my introduction, so it's your turn.
Hey, all right. I'll jump right in then. Hey, I'm Paul. I grew up in the next town over from where Hunter did. We're from essentially the same town. We have a lot of the same hobbies, which we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But I grew up running around the woods, a typical kind of a rural southern upbringing. I spent a lot of time running around dirt roads, hunting, fishing, spending time doing that when I was younger. Right now, I'm a project manager for a large construction company. I was a superintendent for about 7 years of that. So when I got out of school, I moved off and spent 7 years being a road warrior and kind of moved around to some interesting places, some metropolitan places, and then a lot of just moving around to different places through Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. So I've recently gotten back to upstate South Carolina, but it's been about 2 years now, and just really enjoying it. Me and Hunter had used social media to kind of stay in touch over that time, and I think through social media we saw that we had a lot of the same interests. And this has kind of been an organic thing that we started off that it was never intended. Like, hey, let's go have a social media channel. Let's have an Instagram page. Let's be doing these YouTube things. It was, I think actually I started messaging Hunter back and forth which I don't really do Facebook anymore, but when we were doing Facebook, we had a lot of conversations about, it was mainly firearm stuff. I think firearms and then maybe working out is how we kind of got doing that. At the time, I was doing a lot of IDPA, and probably I spent a little bit too much time on Facebook putting opinions up to try to convince people that, carrying a firearm around without a round in the chamber wasn't a good idea. and just different things like that. So I know that we'd sparked on that a little bit, and since I got back, I'd talked to Hunter a couple of times. We talked about fitness stuff, and we've also had conversations, a lot of it about life. About I know that the extreme ownership book, that was something I had to read at work. I'll be completely honest with you, I probably would not have picked that book up had it not been heavily encouraged by upper management to read. Super glad that I did, though.
They came to you with that book?
Yeah, they did come to us with that book. They did. Yeah. So, and it just because now that I've read it, I mean, I agree with 99.9% in it. It was just I never was one of the people that. Now that I've read it, I know it's not a self-help book, but a year and a half ago, had I seen it on the book stand, I would have said, "Hey, that's a self-help book. I don't need, I can help myself." But anyway, we've had conversations about that. We've had conversations about why we don't want to be average. We've had conversations before about why is it so hard to get help? Why I can't train my replacement. And I know we both had this conversation about, hey, I can't move up the ladder because I can't take the guy that's underneath me to train to take my job. I want him to be successful. And, why is that? Why is it that really, every 10 guys that come through this door, there's only 1 out of 10 that's really, that's worth it. We've had conversations about that. We've had conversations about why, amongst our families, bless in the traditional Southern phrase, bless their hearts, why I'm considered a moron for going out and running up and down the road and doing burpees, but they can smoke Pall Malls and eat bologna sandwiches, and that's considered normal. So
fried thick cut bologna with egg and cheese on toast. That's it.
Everything in moderation.
Okay.
No, and so we've had those conversations before. We started texting back and forth a little bit. Hunter's come out and we've shot together some. We did some farms related stuff. We've had two workouts, not one, two workouts. I can't remember. One I know for sure.
Yeah, one for sure at Thanksgiving.
And so I'll be completely honest with you. I think probably the catalyst that got us started is I was getting ready to sign up for, and probably if you see stuff on social media, mainly Instagram and maybe on here, probably at least until March, it may be slightly go-ruck / rucking centric because of the event coming up. But full disclosure, I'd done a tough. I was looking at doing a heavy. I felt that a lot of the, I guess a lot of the learning moments and a lot of stuff that comes from GoRuck, I was like, that'd be good. And I knew Hunter, we had similar mindsets. And I was like, I guilted him into doing the heavy. I was like, hey, you need to go do one of these. There's one in Savannah. I'm doing it this time. He's like, okay, I'm going to sign up for the tough. And I was like, well, you're pretty much a pansy if you don't sign up for the heavy. But I mean, if you want to sign up for the tough, that's okay too. And he not one to be called a pansy. He signed up for it, and then that started us talking about trying to get together. And then this page is what kind of came from that. So I said this. Can we call it a brand? Is it a brand? Is it a?
I don't know what it is, man. We talk about podcasts. It's a channel, a website, a blog, a lifestyle brand, and I don't know.
Lifestyle brand.
I guess without getting too layered into it, I guess that's kind of the beautiful part of it is it's I guess a good podcast term is a segue. I guess we'll use it as a segue. It's far as what we want this to be. Because personally, so let me. Geez, I'm a talker. Give me just 2 seconds here. Kick me off after 30 seconds. I don't read. But just put that on the record. I don't read. But I was randomly watching O'Reilly Factor one day, and I saw Clinton Romichet on there. Red Platoon, great book by the way. talking about it, and I was like, man, that seems kind of cool. It's like a war story, I think they're supposed to make a movie about it. So I read it, and then on Amazon, of all places, it was like, you bought this book, you should buy this one too. And it was Extreme Ownership. So I bought Extreme Ownership. It was like Navy SEALs, right? Who doesn't like Navy SEALs? So I remember watching like the Discovery Channel, like Bud's classes, and it was like badass. Like these guys are awesome. So I bought Extreme Ownership. This dog's about eating my feet, by the way. So I bought Extreme Ownership, and after I got that book, I really started doing a lot of heavy, like just kind of looking at myself, looking at some things in my life and professionally and personally, and a lot of aspects of what I wanted to change. And one of the things I have found, because I went through a bodybuilding phase, thought to me, just jacked as you see all the time, and then I went through like a CrossFit phase, and then I was like, I've gotten to a point where I just want to be the best person I can be. I don't want to pick a domain. I just want to be able to go do, be able to be, pretty decent at it. And that's where it kind of goes back into what do we want the page to be. And I think you and I agree with this is, kind of joking about not being able to pick what this thing is. Is it a podcast? Is it a YouTube channel? Is it an Instagram page? Is it a brand? I don't know. It's us. We're two people that are trying to kind of get the most out of life, I feel like, and kind of don't really care what people think about it, like within reason. Nobody in my family is, I don't use the word crazy, but they don't do the things that I do. We'll leave it at that. Me and my dad, he got me into hunting, and that we share a lot of common ground with that. My brother, he, if you want to go drinking cold beer on Friday night, call him. But if you want to go running, he'll be the first one to tell you no. So, being kind of multifaceted with everything in life, being able to go do cool things in life, that's me. And, I think it's kind of what we want this thing to be too, is it's not necessarily a podcast, it's not necessarily a YouTube channel. It's kind of a quest, a journey, I guess you'd say. It's my life, it's your life when it comes to, these three domains of hard work, leadership, and fitness. And, that's a lot of what I'm about. I feel like it's a lot of what you're about too. And, it's kind of just mainly capturing our progress. And I feel like personally, you chime in too. I feel like there's people out there that would want to hear what we're talking about. Because I know there was a couple guys talking about things that you and me talk about. I'd love to hear it.
Yep.
That's a long way around to answer that short question of what this thing is. But I guess we don't really know what it is, and that's okay.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out as it goes. I guess I was driving home today, and something that came to mind was, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mark Bell, who super training out in California. He's probably he's a huge power lifter, totaled some humongous numbers, but he's kind of a I don't want to say YouTube celebrity, but he's got a pretty big following now. But he's probably most well known for being the creator of the slingshot. So if you guys have ever used that as a training aid for especially you guys trying to get your bench press up or knee sleeves or whatever, that they make some of those. Anyway, behind the wall, like, so if you I've never been to super training gym, disclosure there, but so there's this giant wall when you walk in, and written in humongous letters across there, and it was like a graphic. It said, "I'd rather be dead than average." It says it in huge letters across there. And it's not that, and if you look at it from a statistical standpoint, average isn't necessarily that bad. If you talk about that, hey, you're right in the middle of the bell curve, that's not the problem. The problem is that we've let what the average number of push-ups American male can do these days is terrible. The average responsibility that someone's willing to take on at work and move forward is horrendous. Just basically the average American male, 18 to 35 years old, his average stuff kind of sucks. Let's be honest. Like if we took him, so in that sense, it's not that you kind of have to look at your crowd. So I mean, if you're running around with a bunch of alpha type meat eating door kicker dudes, and you're right in the middle of it, average there, maybe that's not so bad. But if you're looking at the population of the United States in general, and you say, "Hey, I'm average," then you're not doing that great. So try to get, that would be my thing. Hey, we don't want to be average. And right now, I mean, we're looking at, I think the three big tenets, hard work, just what does that mean? Leadership and fitness. Those are three things that we can kind of hinge the channel off and move it around on. And those will be basically the pivot points. But, see, like Hunter right now is showing hard work because I think his dog was like moving furniture in the house for him.
I love the dog. Okay, I love it, but that's something gun. Caroline's on her computer, like trying to just like stay out of the way, and this Joker, I got like 3 holes in my sock, and he's got his bone. It sounds like he's just banging on. It's anyway, that's my biggest pet peeve with any sort of podcast is it sounds like it was recorded on 2 like green bean cans, and we may be accomplishing that. So I apologize. Prime example is Tony Blower. Great, like self-defense, personal protection kind of guy. Like guy's a genius, but his podcast is terrible. It's not like he just like held a tape recorder up to his phone and put it on speakerphone. Anyway, no, I totally agree with that. I hate to say it, but I'm average. I'm very average. Like I'm not. I suck at push-ups, by the way. If I should barometer of average, I'm like probably below average. I'm very average. But no, I think the thing though that I have found in myself, without bragging, trying to be as humble as possible, is that I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's tenacity. I don't know, but I can't let go of something. That's probably anytime I go in a job interview and they ask me what my biggest weakness is, I always tell them I can't let go. And that can be a really great thing, but at the same time, it's kind of a fault of mine because it's kind of a fault of mine because you end up kind of usually pushing things too far, and but no, and that goes back to just not wanting to quit on something and a work ethic. My job on the golf course is all outside. It's hot, it's cold. Like only reason we don't work Davis is the snow. But we work in hot weather, cold weather, rain, sunshine, whatever. And when it comes to being average, man, it's like, call it what it is. Our workers are just a touch above minimum wage. Some of the greatest guys in the world on there, but at the same time, a lot of times guys, and it's not generationally driven. It's not the millennial generation. They're not doing themselves any favors, but it's older guys too. A lot of them. They don't want to push. Cameron Haynes, I think, said it. Maybe it was a Navy SEAL guy that said it for him was 40%. That's all most people give. And people just quit after that. 40%, that's just standard. That's like cruise control. That's driving gear is 40%. And, if you ever think about what you could do, is you just put forth more effort. Now, it's unbelievable. And, anything in life like that is kind of the same deal where really average sucks. And I've had people tell me too, like, oh, you're going to regret it one day when you're 50, 60 years old, your knees are going to be blown out, your back's going to hurt, blah, blah, blah. And I always tell them 2 things. One, being fat is bad for your knees too. I started a really good argument a couple weeks ago with that one. We'll talk about that. But also, and I think Cameron said this, is I'd rather live to 50 at 100% than 100 at 50%. So just full food for thought there. But
I'll just chime in and say that usually the guys that tell you what you're 50 and your knees are blown out, their knees are blown out and they never exercised anyway. So
that's the reason. So the guy who thought I was talking about him, and I kind of maybe I was, I don't know.
Yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean to destroy you.
No, you're good. You're good.
Derail you there.
But no, I don't know. I think that's the kind of the ethos behind this podcast or episode or whatever this thing is to basically stamp out complacency, just another day, trying to get rid of that and to push off being average and to show people that basically, so I have found this and, reel me in here if I'm going too far out is when you kind of make that personal decision to, I'm not going to be average. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm not going to let my emotions get in the way. I'm not going to let me being tired. I'm not going to let the weather. I'm not going to let all these external inputs influence my decision making. When you make that personal decision to hold the line and do what you're supposed to do, whether it be go to the gym when you're tired or it's cold, or do what you're supposed to do at work, even though everybody's just kind of brothering out and hanging out, or eating good at a dinner party when there's only like just a couple things there. When you make that personal decision, it does two things. One, it sets you apart, and you're going to benefit from that, like in unbelievable ways. But two, it puts you on an island. That's what I have found. I'm super lucky in the sense that my wife, Caroline, she really truly like we're on the same page with that stuff. We fit in the same boat a lot of times. We're like, oh yeah, they don't eat this stuff. But at the same time, it kind of gets lonely. Like call it what it is. It's kind of lonely when you make that decision to do those things and to kind of be disciplined and to set those things apart. It kind of gets lonely, and that's kind of what I want this podcast to be, is to tell those type of people like you're not alone. It's not just you. Like there's other people out here that think like this, and that's kind of what I want out of it, and that's just kind of just people to know that they're not alone. That there's other people out there that think like they do, that feel that way, and you don't have to be the Lone Ranger out there fighting that battle every single day because it gets exhausting.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Ooh, I'm getting some feedback. Okay, all right. Look, it went away now. Hot mic. I agree with that. I mean, we're gonna lean on you guys. We're trying to work through right now. We could go on this big long rabbit trail. You don't want to hear us ramble for another 30 minutes about the things that are wrong. You want to hear. Let's start breaking it down into bite-sized chunks, and we'll tackle it one topic at a time. Right? We're gonna solve all the world's problems via this podcast. That's done on questionable audio and video quality. But one thing that we're gonna kind of let our viewers and anyone who else is out there is, hey, what do you want to talk about? What are some topics that you want to discuss? I think one thing that we're gonna probably tackle pretty soon is we'll do one on GoRuck, just because we've got that going on, and that's kind of a big part of both of our lives right now, is getting ready for that. We may table that one. I don't know if we'll do a 2-part. We'll do like what our thoughts were, maybe, or what we think it's going to be, and then one afterwards, what it wound up being. That's one thing that we're looking at. We may wind up doing an EDC show. I just, the firearm stuff is saturated right now. There's, in my opinion, I mean, I don't consider myself a dummy at this point. I don't consider myself to be a dummy when it comes to firearms. There's a lot of people out there that are a lot smarter and been doing it a lot longer than I have. I mean,
let me time out here.
Yeah.
About a year ago, I thought I was decent. I watched enough Instructor Zero videos to be like badass. I went to shot with Paul and just straight up got humbled, and it was like, this guy's better than he probably leads on. So go ahead, finish up.
Okay, so I mean, it's saturated. We can have a discussion on there, but like, I don't use firearms professionally. I've never had to use one in either a professional or private, situation, or when I say like occupational or private, situation. I've never been paid to carry a gun for any sort of thing. I hope that I never have to use it. I hope that it's a recreational, like, fun thing for me for the rest of my life. I do know that there are a lot of guys out there that have a lot of real world experience, kind of been there, done that, guys, and they're putting their opinions out there, and I trust them. Same way that if I had to triage a bunch of people over there, I'd probably lean on Hunter or is Hunter dead? You okay, bud? Okay.
No.
If there was a
monkey emotions at me.
okay.
You said triage and I died. Go figure.
So just like I would lean on him, if we got into some kind of situation where it required more extensive medical, I guess, more medical help than what I could be delivered via tourniquet, direct pressure, or something like that. So I mean, we can. I think if we do an EDC show, if we do firearm stuff, it needs to be as simple like if you're talking about, hey, what should I carry? Yeah, let's do that. If you're talking about like small unit tactics, hey, should I get a PVS 14, or do you think I can run a Gen 2 night vision? Like, hey, look, you're out of my wheelhouse. Like I can't help you. That's not going into EDC. That's going into something else. And but here's the main takeaway from that about anything that's firearms related. Go get some training, pay the money, and go get somebody to show you how to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Bar none. Just pay the money. Just
it's
too worth it.
The community was talking about it one time. They talking about how a lot of people go buy a $1,000 gun and a $200 holster when they need to go buy a $400 gun, spend $500 on training, $100 on practice ammunition, and buy a $100 holster. That kind of the same lines there. I tell you what, we didn't really rehearse this, but just real short. I think going forward, kind of actionable items. What's some things you want to talk about, like on these episodes? I think we made it pretty clear that the next. It's actually 8 weeks yesterday, by the way, if that doesn't scare you a little bit, until our Go Ruck event. That's kind of freaky. But, we got 8 weeks until then. But what's some things you want to talk about? Some episodes you want to do, some topics you want to cover in the future? I know I personally have a list coming on. I don't know, what's some stuff you want to talk about? Just real quick, just a few handful of things.
So the first one I'd like to do is I'd like to have us and this is for everyone to think about, like everybody runs in a little bit of different wheelhouse. So like, all right, what are your fitness standards? You got to have a guy, you got to walk in tomorrow. Like, so you pick, I don't know, 3 to 10 exercises, whatever you think it is. And like, these are the standards you have to meet. Like, and this is to be well-rounded in what your mind's are. And obviously we may have different opinions on there, but I'd like to do what are some, I'd like to do a fitness standards one. I definitely like to, like I said, I'd like to have a Go Ruck show eventually on there. I'd like to have the one of I don't think you're there yet if you get to that point or whatever, but I've got 2 boys, and I think a lot about what am I gonna do so that if they turn 21, 18, whatever, and they're out of the house, like how am I gonna prepare them to be a man? It scares me to death. I'll be completely honest with you. Like,
I already know what I'm doing with mine. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, how do you do that, or what do you think you're going to do? That was a little more deeper philosophically, but I mean, I don't think it hurts to. I mean, people talk about a lot stupider stuff. So
I had a good family friend, no joke. He truly did this. I think he's genius. It did not work for his kids, but I think he's genius. When his son turned like 17, he was like, "I'm a bigger man than you. I can do whatever I want." And they ran a 5K. They had I think they had a piece of wood and they had chopped it up with an axe, like a lumberjack competition. They ran a 5K, did a lumberjack competition, and then they had a boxing match. Whoever won, was really high. The kid basically, he's like 25 now. It's still his dad can beat him, but anyway. No, man, that sound like good. That sound like good topics. I got something I want to do. You got any more or? I mean,
no, that was just without scrambling. That was just 3 that come off the top of my head.
Yeah, so Paul kind of referenced it earlier, talking about a triage thing. So first off, I have a very basic level of medical training. My wife is an EMT. I got a lot of friends that are EMTs, paramedics. I'm a firefighter, and I'm a EMR, emergency medical responder. It's kind of glorified first responders, except what EMT. The fire department that I run with, we are EMS based. We run medical calls. So I've seen some kind of cool, wild stuff. I've seen some. I've seen enough to bring a personal awareness to me for the. In my opinion, it's if you should not carry a gun without something. You always hear the cliche term of you shouldn't be able to poke holes if you can't stop something coming out of those holes. And you shouldn't be able to poke holes if you can't patch holes. And I totally personally believe that. I carry an IFAC, like a first aid kit, with me pretty much everywhere I go. So I'm pretty big on that stuff. I've seen enough things to really, truly, I think CPR should be taught in high schools or even middle schools. I think that tourniquets should be hanging on every light post, and AED should be, every mile down the road kind of thing. But I really want to do some just trauma care type stuff, because I was having a conversation the other day at work about first aid kits, how those are bee sting, and I got a splinter in my finger kits. Anything like that, you can buy enough time to go to the hospital for, get an ambulance to you. What people need to know about is hemorrhage control, some airway management, and just basically CPR type stuff. Those are the things that you don't have time to wait on an ambulance. That's like immediate. Got to have it right now. You quit. Caroline's doing CPR on some like random person I can't see. But anyway, so I want to do some medical type stuff. I got a guy I know, a good friend of mine. He was a contractor in the military. He's a paramedic currently. He was a medic in Afghanistan. So he's definitely seen some stuff. He's got some real world hands-on experience. A lot of people have an issue with eating right, even on the go. Me and my wife were pretty heavy in the meal prep thing, brown bagging it, as Paul calls it. I want to do some topics on that. By no means am I an expert in anything, but I feel like I'm at the average or maybe above average level on all of that stuff. I'd even like to kind of like talking about living the best life you can. I'd like to do a little talking about some like event planning or trip planning. We go on a decent little vacation every year. That being said, we go on some pretty cool vacation, go to some really cool spots. And everybody probably thinks I'm making $1 million a year, but that is not the case at all. We just have found a way to do it really cheap. I'd like to talk about some of that stuff, because I talk to a lot of people that are like, man, that's really cool, that trip y'all went on. I wish I could afford something like that. I promise you can. You just got to figure out some little hacks to kind of maximizing your dollar when you're out there. And frankly, you got to lower your expectations a little bit. You're not going to be eating filet mignon on the beach. So just some stuff like that, just actionable items, those kind of things. That's kind of what I got. But
yeah, I think that's enough to get started. Right now, for posting frequency, just so everybody knows that we're gonna try to do these. We're gonna try to do these. Right now is weekly. It's going to depend on a lot of things. Obviously, it's going to depend on how much, I don't want to say views like that, but how much interaction we got. Like, if we got people watching it and sending questions and stuff, and we feel like it's worth our time, we'll keep that up. But right now we're looking at weekly. We're probably going to ease into it. We're not going to try not to have the shows go extremely long time, just because we don't want to get it long-winded. I'd like to try to cap them around an hour, just so they don't become rambling. But with that being said, if we got information and we're getting good content out of it, I mean, we're not gonna be like a hard stop, like, this is an hour, let's shut her down. We just don't want it to be, one thing I cannot stand is like going to a meeting somewhere and literally the same thing gets brought up 4 or 5 times. We talk about it, and it's just this, it's this vicious cycle of regurgitating the same information. I don't want to see that. So if we're going forward with stuff, let's do it. So we're looking at about a week now. Once a week that we try to get stuff up. It's probably going to be Wednesdays. Probably going to be Wednesdays. Me and Hunter, we got a couple of. I don't know if we're going to try to do them on like live. We're going to record them live. Probably some GoRuck related stuff. We may do some firearms related stuff too live. I don't know that we'll stream it, but we'll probably record it and then share it, like some of the training stuff. We do firearms. We're going to try to do so when that GoRuck finishes up on Friday night, the next morning we're going to try to do an AAR right then while everything's still fresh in everyone's mind, so that we can get that information out there while everything's still fresh. Hunter is primarily the one that runs the page on the Instagram. So he just is a little more of a wizard. He's a better Instagram wizard than I am. I manage. You're Gandalf. You're Gandalf of Instagram. I manage a little more on the YouTube. I'll probably manage a little more on the YouTube side, as far as like uploading the videos and making sure that's going forward. But yeah, right now we're looking at probably doing once a week. That's gonna be completely based on interaction. We're hoping people are gonna get questions out there, and whether you comment on a YouTube video or you post them on Instagram, it's gonna be the same as far as trying to get questions to one of us. And like if you tell us we suck and we're ugly or whatever, I mean, so be it. But I mean, if you got constructive criticism or whatever, like I was actually thinking about buying a mic. That's one of the things I was seriously thinking about. I was actually looking on Amazon. That's why I don't like I'm looking at the camera. I'm monitoring YouTube and some other stuff right now. So a mic was on the short list. But I mean, I think that's really it as far as like what I've got for the kickoff, Hunter. I don't know if there's anything you want to.
That's I don't have a whole lot more to add to that. Just kind of close it out here in a second. As far as admin type things like that, I'll say this, like kind of like Paul said, this is gonna be once a week kind of deal. If you want to stay kind of active, kind of up to date with it, going over to the Instagram page. It's the same deal. Hardware fixes everything. It's kind of our mantra for this. But go to the Instagram page. We don't have a Facebook page. I don't really think we need to right now. Maybe later. If you want to keep up with us, go to Instagram. That's where everything's going to be at. We try to post a couple times a week, a few times a week. We're trying to go quality over quantity. We don't want to just post a bunch of cat memes and stuff like that just for the heck of it. But try to post good things on there. Trying to put something on the Insta story, once a day or so. Be some random live videos, whether it be me or Paul. If we got something to play on our mind, we're gonna throw out there. But really, truly, we're gonna document our stuff on here. We're gonna document our stuff on Instagram. If you have something you want to throw out there, if you have something you want to talk about, something you want to hear what our thoughts or opinions are on it, I think it's like that. Just throw that on the Instagram. Shoot us a message on there. Comment on this video on YouTube. Shoot us a message on Instagram. Any of that stuff. Get a hold of us. This is very, like I said, this is at the incipient level right now, and we're very open to criticism, very open to anything. I know our cameras suck. I know the audio probably sucks. It's whatever. Get over yourself. If you have negative criticism, please shoot me that in a message. I would love to talk to you. By talk to you, I mean block you. But anyway, if you got anything you want to talk about, let us know. I'm an open book.
Also, on that, if you got something cool you think relates to what we talk about here, like if you tag us in your pictures, like if you got a you're getting in, it's 4:30 a.m. and you're going in there and working on some, something terrible like squats and burpees, supersetted, at 4:30 a.m. or you got a, you just finished an AR build, or you just finished reading Burn Your Couch, or hey, like you took your kids and loaded them up and took them on a hike. I mean, those are all things that we're interested in. Like I think if you could like that's us in a nutshell right there. Those 4 things, like those are things that we all like. That it's events like that, the mosaic that make what we represent. So if you got that stuff, tag us in it, and we think it's awesome. So I don't know if I got anything else to go with, Hunter.
That's about it. Hashtag is HWFE. All our fix everything. Tag us in it, and I don't know if we like your post, we'll definitely repost it. If you tag us in it or use a hashtag, anything good like that, we'll throw it up there on the page. So yeah, feel free to do that. Just kind of closing out. I'm good. Tag us in it. This has been a pretty good episode. I think we got some technical issues to get over. The conversation's fine. I guess we'll be doing another one of these next week sometime. I'll probably be catching up on training progress and stuff, and kind of getting the game plan together for the first weekend there in February when we get together and do a lot more interesting things than sitting at the dining room table talking.
I think what we need to do for the first one is like we need to find it needs to be like a almost like Go Ruck does theirs. They're sitting around a table just with drinking beer. I don't know if it needs to be camp chairs or something, but we need to run the on location stuff that way. Or done on the tailgate of a truck or something. We need to.
Yeah, we can definitely figure that one out. You said beer, I'll be there. We can figure that one out. I'm down with that, man. I think the sky's the limit with this stuff. I hope we get some people that follow it, people that want to see stuff, and to close it out, man. Anybody that's watching, now going forward to the next week, look around you, try to figure out what you want to do to, kind of take control of your life and your job and whatever you got going on, and just make it a little bit better. And just remember that, like, it's up to you. Nobody else is coming to help you out, but know that we're here. There's other people out there that are hustling just like you are, just trying to make themselves better and try to live a better life. And if you want to talk about something, if you want to shoot us a picture, you got questions, you just need somebody to tell you get your butt going, or go to the gym, or don't eat a cheeseburger. Shoot us a message. So, if you've been watching tonight, I appreciate it. We appreciate you getting on the page. Check us out on Instagram. Hard Work Fixes Everything. We got the YouTube page. We'll be back next week with another episode. Paul, what you got?
That's it. You guys have a great night. Be good to one another. Don't add to the population. Don't take from the population. So
perfect. I like it.
All right.
All right, guys. Out of here.
All right. Later.